Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Hidayah Nayli, binti Zuki, student ID 2023197569. Today, I am going to introduce what is cyberbullying and sexual harassment. Cyberbullying is a form of digital harassment involving repeated harmful behaviors such as denigration, outing, impersonation, threats, and offensive communication that carry out through electronic devices and platforms to intimidate, humiliate, or harm individuals, often under anonymity or false identities. What is sexual harassment? Sexual harassment has been identified as a present barrier to the professional success of both men and women. Studies have shown that between 35% and 53% of working women have experienced some form of sexual harassment at work. Sexual harassment is defined as unwanted conduct of a sexual nature, whether verbal, nonverbal, visual, gestural, or physical, that is offensive or humiliating or threatens someone's well-being.
Hi, my name is Nur Hidayah binti Ahmad SUKRI. I would like to talk about the issue and the factor of cyberbullying and sexual harassment. One of the issues in addressing cyberbullying and sexual harassment is the variation in platform communication styles. According to Sheikh Mahbub, platforms like FormString, which use short live questions and answer interaction, are especially vulnerable to harassment. Their research found that adding approach to detection models improve harassment detection performance by up 12%, making it easier to identify subtle or discrete harassment on these platforms. Next, we move to another issue, which is inadequate information and reporting. Many victims do not report harassment, often because they fear retaliation or do not trust the reporting process. As mentioned in the article, without clear guidelines on how to handle these complaints, organizations fail to provide the necessary support, leaving victims feeling isolated and allowing harmful behaviors to continue unchecked. Alright, next we move to the factor. There are several critical factors that contribute to the persistence of cyberbullying and sexual harassment. First, the nature of online platforms play a major role. Different platforms have different levels of vulnerability depending on their communication style, like short, informal chat platforms and being more prone to harassment. Second, the lack of targeted detection mechanism make it easier for perpetrators to avoid detection when detection systems don't focus on specific types of cyberbullying, such as subtle or indirect forms of sexual harassment. Harmful behavior can slip through unnoticed. Finally, the cultural acceptance of sexist jokes and remarks is another important factor. In some environments, these behaviors are normalized, making it much harder to set clear boundaries, address the problem early, and prevent the escalations. So I think that's all from me. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Hidayah. My name is Nur Anissyazana binti Zakaria. My matric ID is 2023114351. Hi everyone, now I'll be sharing about the impact of cyberbullying and sexual harassment in the workplace. First of all, there are psychological distress. Victims often experience anxiety, depression, emotional burnout, and in some cases, even post-traumatic stress disorder or known as PTSD. This emotional toll affects not just mental health but also daily performance. It makes it harder to concentrate, make decisions, or even feel motivated at work. Secondly, it leads to reduced productivity. When someone is emotionally drained, their ability to focus and work efficiently will drop. This doesn't just affect the individuals, it also lowers the overall performance of the team and the organizations. Third, we see higher turnover in tensions. Employees who feel unsafe or unsupported are more likely to call in sick, be absent without notice, or even leave the company entirely. This results in increased the cost for recruitment and training and disrupt team stability.
The first recommendation is implement confidential reporting channels. Victims or witnesses often hesitate to report due to fear of retaliation or embarrassment. HR should provide multiple confidential ways to report incidents, such as anonymous lines, third-party HR platforms, private email reporting to designated officer. It is critical that reports are handled discreetly and that victims are protected throughout the investigation process. The second recommendation is provide mental health support. Being a victim or even a bystander of harassment can be traumatic. HR should provide access to employee assistance programs, mental health professionals, and paid mental health days. Wellness programs should highlight the psychological impact of cyberbullying and offer support without stigma. The third recommendation is review and update policies frequently. Workplace norms and laws evolve, especially with remote and hybrid work. HR must review and revise policies regularly, ensuring they reflect technological changes, legal updates, and employee feedback. This shows employees that the company is proactive, not reactive.
To conclude our presentation, in conclusion, cyberbullying and sexual harassment are serious problems that can hurt employees, lower productivity, and create a toxic work environment. These issues often happen because of weak system, unclear policy, and normalized bad behavior. That's why the role of human resource is so important. HR must provide safe ways to report the problems, offer mental health support, and update workplace policy regularly. Caring and proactive HR teams can help to build a safe, respectful, and inclusive workplace for everyone.